Guess what, Jamar? It's VESTED time.
What's Thursday. Up, brother?
You know what it is, man. We're here to inspire, create, and empower.
What's up, VESTED community?
How are you? I'm Damien. This is Jamar. We're here to do our show VESTED on Thursday. And today, Jamar is going to put me on blast. So,
hey, before we get started, though, I want you to know something. You know what you are?
Damien.
No.
100%.
You are.
Ooh, I'll take it. Well, somebody else calls you that, you can accept it. You can't call yourself that unless you have the Pulp Fiction water.
You're badass, bro. Come on.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So you weren't very forthcoming with wanting to talk about what we're going to talk about today. I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay. I've been thinking about this since you brought it up, and why, right? Because it's a really good question. I wrote a book. I've been blessed to have a lot of really awesome opportunities in my life, and I've been knocked down a handful of times, and I don't know how to stay down, so I wrote a book. And
man,
I mean, it's weird because like I look at authors and people that take the craft of writing so serious that like they dedicate their life's passion towards it, and I mean, I wrote a book, it's published, but like, and I'm passionate about living life in an artistic way, but the book is just kind of a manifestation of letting it unfold, I guess. And I feel a little awkward about calling myself a writer just because, I mean, a lot of things, Jamar.
Well, you think about this, Coach D, right? How many people do you know that actually have completed the book writing journey?
Since I'm not a writer, how many writers?
But you are a writer.
I'm a writer. I publish things.
Right.
Last week we did the blog, which I have one more to write because I promised myself I would.
Right.
I'm going to apply myself towards getting the work that I've done out there.
Hey,
but
Coach D,
yes.
Think about this. Okay, and I share this with you in the pre-production. You know, I feel that every person, every human being has, if they really want to dig inside of them, their heart, their spirit, their experiences, right, their journey in life, they have something that the world needs to hear. So how many people, including myself, have things to share with the world, and we haven't taken the action yet to actually put it in a formalized writing of some manner? So why have you written a book and I haven't?
Well, because there's
not just me, everyone else who's been freaking thinking about writing a book.
Well, there's many different things that you could write about. For me, the motivation behind writing this book was really that I had a lot of people that helped me understand me. I write about the I am, we are process. And I'm obviously a man of faith, Jamar, but I think that if you get really, really specific, I don't want to say you move dogma or religion out of the way, but like if you get it down to the individual level, like you have to ask yourself inside some internal questions. And I think that the book was kind of my process of me doing that. And I tried to take responsibility for only me, like, because everybody's going to react a different way to me. And as things are exploding and things are happening in life, and it's hard and it's difficult, like it's really hard sometimes to take inventory and to know how you're affecting people and if you're doing things the right way. And I think that the book and everything that's happened to me up to this point in my life has sort of been a process that has got me to the idea that I truly believe in a better way. Because at one point I looked at myself in the mirror as a quadriplegic, and it didn't make any sense how I could ever make happiness out of that. My brain told me that happiness equaled something else. And through the I am, we are process and my faith and God, my family, my friends, it just every day.
Coach D, now listen. We're not going to stop right there. That's not the truth.
We got to start.
That's not. No. That's not the truth, because you think about everything you just said, word for word. What if another person feels the same exact way that you just described, but they don't take any action?
We all have that choice, and I think
okay. So let's go deeper. Let's go deeper.
All right. So we do the inspire. Should we do it?
Let's go. You want to talk about some inspiration?
Hold on,
man.
Okay, inspiration, and this is going to be a real quick fast forward. So I apologize to the whole Vested community because I yell at everybody when I do this. My wonderful wife, who's the yin and my yang, she gave me an opportunity to want to try and push for more. She saw in me what I didn't see in me. And I would say that at least while I was searching for how this I am, we are process was going to unfold in my life, and there was just the I am, she was the first we are that we kind of started expanding into. The reason I'm giving her this buildup is because you're going to see a trailer that she put together about the book. And yes, I wrote the book and my name's on it, but like the pictures, the experiences, the stories, the lessons, it's a process. And there's so many people involved in it. It's like when you throw a rock into a pond and it splashes up and it ripples out. The people that are closest to the largest ripples are the ones whose lives it affects the biggest. And if it worked for everybody's best effort, and it was ugly, incomplete, all over the place, but it was the fullest thing that I've ever experienced. And surrendering into it is the result of where I'm at now. So roll the tape.
Let's roll it.
Eagle, cover 2, right there.
Football was a way for me to express who I was. It was a system that just made sense to me. A lot of the structured learning parts of school just didn't come easy for me. When I was out on the football field and I could just be me, I don't know, I had fun. I had fun being me.
He was the Defensive Player of the Year for Division 5. He was All Orange County. His accolades, you don't have enough tape.
He was the cool guy. He was the football player. He was the big dude. People went to Damien for everything. I went to Damien for everything. He was he was the man. Damien was the man.
But if you ask him, the awards don't mean anything. He just loved the game. I looked out at the boys having a good time, and I thought to myself, how lucky can we be? And then within 2 hours of that, it's like you walked into a bright room and someone switched off the light.
Damien's always been my hero, and when he got hurt, it was like a big hit to the heart, because no one wants to see their hero get hurt. Seeing this damn near professional athlete go to a wheelchair, it shocked all of us.
I looked up and I saw him floating face down in the water and people rushing to him. Your son has injured his spine, he's paralyzed, and he'll never get any better.
All of a sudden I saw myself floating away from my body and I immediately freaked out because I knew exactly what was going on. Next thing I know, I was laying back down on the table and I was looking up at an abundant light. This doctor comes in and says, listen, you broke your neck at C4, C5, you're going to be paralyzed for the rest of your life from chin down, and that's just the way it is, and we're going to give you a wheelchair and some pills and send you on your way. I told the doctor to go out in the hallway and explain to my family, but I really wasn't interested in statistics because I wasn't interested in him shrinking my will. I'm completely dependent upon other people to do the physical things that y'all will kind of take for granted, and I would say that even I took it for granted before I got hurt. I wasn't interested in giving up. I figured that there was something to this, and even though I didn't understand it at the time, I was destined to figure it out. Still a lot of me that's paralyzed, but my will definitely isn't. there's this really cool thing that the wheelchair helped magnify, is that we all have limitations, and at certain points we're all at the edge of our seat. You don't have to break your neck, and you don't need some sort of peak experience to find yourself. I think that we're all responsible for our own happiness. If you are to pursue your purpose, that's where you'll find true happiness.
Bro, come on, man.
It's weird. It's weird, man.
Hey, Coach D, you gotta be bold about that, man. You think about what you've done and what you've accomplished, and what I was sharing with you is, even though you had the why in your heart, right? You got the amazing support and what the amazing tech team and the people around you have helped you create, but they can't do that, and your why doesn't matter unless you take action, man. And so I really want to just magnify the action right now, because I think a lot of us, including myself, there's a lot of things in life that we will never accomplish unless we take action. And I think a lot of times we're so stuck in our mind, in our head, about trying to make something so perfect, or thinking, how am I going to accomplish it? And we never take action because we have the analysis paralysis syndrome, where we analyze for so long that we don't do anything. So, man, today I just really want to honor you on the action you took, despite any limitation, or however you want to describe it. Like you said, we all have limitations, right? But you think about how you want to talk about limitations. So, man, I really wanted to get to the root of that, because if we're going to inspire anyone to do anything, we got to inspire people to take action, Coach D. So you taking action inspires me to take action, man. So that's really what I wrote and want you to really think about is, if you could do that, if you could take action to write a book, despite the shortcoming, adversity, obstacles, and challenges, what can you not do?
All right, man. This is the vulnerability that I like about this show. It's the reason why I'm motivated to do this show. It's because every week we get on here and we give ourselves to this community. But in essence, you have to make the commitment yourself first. And for me, so one of the reasons why I feel uncomfortable about trying to inspire from this space is because all of it was so uncomfortable. There was so much fear and expectation and unfulfilled desires, and I had to look at my house so many times and like just come up with a really good reason to just go out the front door. Like, wow. And man, a lot of people are dealing with this right now. A lot of people, man, there's people that have given up over this whole thing that we're going over, and the financial crisis and the not knowing, and it's scary, man. And it's like to have to overcome yourself, because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to put your clothes on. You're the one that has to go to work. You're the one that has to decide what you want to do with your time. And it's like, so you talk about taking action. I mean, what the hell else am I going to do? Like, you know what I mean? Like when you're down, you stay down or you get up, and that's it. And it's like, we make it complicated, and we come up with all these ideas and reasons why. And so to get behind the idea that I'm a published author, and that like now I've published 5 blogs, and like I've gotten decent at writing, and I have a voice, and I've gotten pretty good at it. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like I just feel that it's coming from a place of this uncomfortable alchemy. Like people look at me and they're like, so you're happy and you're paralyzed? And I'm like, damn, yes. There's just, I choose that. I accept the idea that I have free will and that I can point my intentions wherever I want. And I pointed them, Jamar, at a place for a very long time that wasn't inspirational to anybody. It wasn't inspirational to me, anybody around me. And getting through that and then like writing about it, and then people are like, you're inspirational. It's odd.
Man.
So it's more than just taking action.
Because G, what would you say to someone who is going through adversity right now, or someone who got hit in the gut, or someone who got knocked down right now, and they also have a message that they want to share with the world, but they haven't started the message yet? And what would you say to that person?
Well, without getting deep into the creation process of how I came up with a strategy to do it, I would say be patient with yourself and accept the idea that whatever it is that you're going through, whether you like it or not, you're going through it. And it might be desirable and it might not. I remember one time somebody explained to me that when you get bit by an insect, the response of an itch is your body telling you that something's happened, but it doesn't always itch. But when it does, you want to scratch your skin off. But if you were able to get past the 15 minutes where it really itches, your day goes on. And most of the time we put some peppermint on it or some lotion and it's cool. And like in a lot of ways, if we keep that loop going of how bad stuff isn't the way we want it, then that red loop keeps showing up in your life. And everything you do, you're taking this thought process, this energetic creator that you have between your ears, and you're pointing your intentions at the idea of like, oh, I just know it's not going to work out. Well, it sucks because and my body and and it's just like, so to inspire from there, to write a book and have people look at you, be like, wow, it's so inspiring that you just didn't give up. And it's like, well, the other option was to sit around, and I did for a while, and it hurt and it sucked, and you just got to get through it.
Man, I'm reading this. Check this out, man. Check this out. Wow. Okay. It says here, the number of writers and authors in the U.S. This is as of 2019. There were over 45,000 writers and authors working to get to put their message out. Now, check this out. How many people do we have in our U.S. economy? Say what, 300 million? Coach D, 300 million or so? Now, you look at the percentage here, we're talking a fraction of a percent of people. I want you to really break this down. Look at it from a number perspective. 45.015% of the people, 0.015%. 0.015%.
All right, I accept.
Hey, come on, bro.
Hey, man, I wrote it on my iPhone in the notes section in the middle of the jungle with hands that don't work.
Well, man. Well, let's just talk about as we talk about. Let's go to creation, man. Let's just make it happen because we are. You trying to sneak over there?
I did.
Now let's talk about the creation, right? So at the time, where were you when it took place? And at what point do you remember when you said, hey, I'm actually going to do this?
Okay. For this weird reason, I've always wanted to write a book. I didn't know about what, and I didn't know what it was going to look like or how it was going to come out or when I was going to have the patience to do it. And in a weird way, my dad always kind of like tries to push to challenge me to find value in things and be bigger than what's actually happening. It's just there's music, and it's like weird. It's like I'm going crazy, but I already am crazy, so it's all right. So yeah, he one day looked at me and he was like, "Why would people read your book? Like, what makes your life more interesting than the next person's?" And I was like, "This is before I got hurt." And then after I got hurt, he was like, "Oh, well, yeah, now I see it." And I was like, "I still don't." And I did like. It wasn't until we had the opportunity to go to another country and we had the energetic like pull us out of where we're at and to really focus on the day-to-day of just what's on the inside that we really, hey man, I knew I wanted to do it, and then I had the opportunity to do it, and you just gotta, when it's in front of you, half the battle showing up, Jamar, and the other half's executing. So I said,
man, Come on. Well, I got a correction because as you were talking, I say, let me just confirm what I'm talking about. Actually, the U.S. population in 2020 is 331 million people, which means you're 0.0135%. So not
okay. Okay, right, I guess.
Hey, I think we got a little video. Hey, we got a video right here. We're gonna roll about.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, man. Here we go. You ready? So again, Coach G, can you just talk us through this?
I don't know where it comes from. I don't know how it falls into place. And you hear about people talking about having writer's block and how it all fits. And I don't know, man. I didn't even really have a strategy. I didn't read any workshops or do any books. I had to come out. I guess this is what people talk about when they need to paint or something like that. And it was and a lot of it was this process of internal alchemy that something wasn't right. And then kind of like I said in the trailer that I looked at it, and to me there's just, even before I heard Jamar, I truly believe that when I look around at the world, there's just more. There's more value to be had. I don't want to say we're doing it wrong, and I don't want to say we're cutting corners, but it was even before I had this life-changing event, I knew that I wanted to be part of something bigger than just me. And I didn't know how to do it. And even still, when people look at me and they're like, wow, you wrote a book and you're inspirational. And it's I accept that. I accept it wholeheartedly, that this is my purpose and this is my platform to be able to share what I've learned. But at the same time, most people think when they get to their purpose or they get to that platform of where they get to create what they want and manifest their dreams, it's not one of those things, at least this right now,
right,
where I would look at it and pick it up off the shelf and I know in my heart, because I've felt it the whole time, that this is going to work out, and that in a big way, much bigger than me. And it's already starting this way. Even my relationship with you and Rebecca, it's these things are the love and creation and abundance is this is what I knew it would take place. And to me, this is small signs that it's already happening. So the world looks at it and there's all right, well, where's your Bentley? Where's your money? How much do you make? Where are you going for your summer vacation? And it's for me, the abundance has been meeting people like Jamar, who will look at me and be like, I see you. I really see you. And I appreciate you. And I want to create with you. And to have that feeling where people really care, where they bend over backwards for you. And if you really want to ask them for help, they'll be there. But more of just that presence where you feel filled up. That's great, man. And I want to share that with VESTED now. That's the creation process. That's where, to me, that's
real talk.
That's all worth it.
That's real talk, bro. And I appreciate you sharing that because, always going back to the supernatural frequency, right? Proverbs 27:17 says, as iron sharpens iron, one person will sharpen another. And I really truly believe that the only way for us to accomplish what our goals and our dreams and the desires of our heart are is that we have to be around other people that helps us stay sharp, that inspires us, right? That helps us create it, that empowers us. And I think that that's the secret sauce for us as people, because remember, one is too small of a number to accomplish anything great. We need a team of people. And so first step is taking action. But then the second step is being in alignment and around those people who can help us, sharpen. And I appreciate your heart, man, and what you're doing and why you're doing it. And I'm honored and grateful to be here. But I have a question for you. All different directions. How did that come about? How did you know that was the title you wanted to roll with? And then what, in a short bullet point, what does that mean in all different directions? What were you trying to communicate through your title to the world?
I think in a lot of ways, we think of our lives as this linear thing where we're born and we go through these different phases and we do these different things and it's over. And to me, it has not been that way at all. It's like every time I felt like I was on a quote unquote track, everything changed so dramatically. And I got really good at figuring out how to roll with the punches until one happened that was so big that there was no rolling. And it made me face all the things that I struggled with, all of the things that I pushed away. I mean, it took 3 years. I did it in 3 different countries. I don't know, man. Like the whole process to me, now that I look back, I was able to look at it when I wanted to start explaining to people how I made it through this process and what it is that I did to be able to solidify progress. Because sometimes it just looks like it's never going to end. Like my goal for the longest time, the answer was like overcome paralysis. And once I was able to look at the situation different and recognize that it was my thoughts that were paralyzed more than my body, I started to become aware of ways to move towards a happiness that I wanted to unfold. Because it's like a day-by-day thing. And until you become mindful of all the things that you don't want, so that you can isolate the things that you don't want, or I'm sorry, when you isolate all the things that are going on in your life that aren't necessarily the greatest, that you don't want, you can start to pick out things that you do. And then once you become aware of all these things that are in your life, you can start to move towards the things that feel good. And slowly what will happen is you'll move away from the stuff that isn't so pleasurable. Now, the tricky part about this stage that I really suffered with, or that I really spent a lot of time learning from, was the acceptance of how all of us tend to mask ourselves. Like the essence of who we are, if we just let it come out, it might not fit comfortably everywhere we go, but at the same time, if you can wrap your head around who you are, have your thoughts, feelings, and emotions, then you're enjoying life and you're rating good. But as we doubt ourselves and we hide from ourselves and we come up with excuses and this and that, it's really hard to move towards purposeful action, especially when you have a very specific thing that you can't physically move away from.
Wow. Coach D, so you said so many points right there, but I want to back up for a moment. Did you say it took you 3 years in 3 countries to accomplish the book? Like, is that how long the journey was?
Yeah.
Really?
The journey's still going, and there's more books in me. I'm not excited about writing them. Like I said before, Jamar, the process is arduous. Looking at yourself and being real with the idea that like you participated in everything that's happened, desirable and undesirable, successes and failures. Like if you weren't there, you wouldn't have participated in it. So by being engaged in this I am we are process, you have to take full responsibility for all of it. And that's tough.
Engage in the process. Engage in the process or enjoy the process. Well, which one would you say?
Hey man, like I would love to look at you and be this pillar of joy and say that like enjoy the process. But sometimes there's things that you need to get through that you're not going to enjoy. Sometimes you're going to have to look at it and not mask it. You got to look at it and be like, you know what, this sucks, this hurts, and that's just it's what it's supposed to be because it can't really be anything else. I can perspective-wise switch this and think about it different and feel different, but this sucks. And if I accept that for what it is, put it down and move away from it, then okay. But first you got to look at it and say, okay.
Man. Hey, well, Coach D, are you sure there's not an underlying message in the title? I need you to just tell us. Is there an underlying message? And let's just go straight.
I'll tell you my secrets when you do the empower thing.
All right, hey, let's go. Let's bring it. Are you? Coach D. Coach D.
Yep.
Underlying message, man.
Yeah. See, with that book, you got to be really paying attention because I wrote it from 2 different perspectives. There's the perspective of you're reading it And it's a nice story about a guy that just tried to figure himself out. He went up and he went down. And he had some positive things and he had some negative things. But there's another way that I wrote that too, Jamar. And for each individual that participated in my I Am We Are process, they're going to read that book. And even though I might not have used their name, they're going to remember the time. They're going to remember the experience. So it's going to be more than just a story about Damien's life and what he went through. They're going to be able to read it and see themselves in it. And I also try to write it from the perspective, and I did the same thing with the last couple of blogs, is that if you're reading it from an outsider's perspective, I want to give everybody the opportunity for an interesting story. But at the same time, I also want people to connect with the idea that we all go through stuff and that we all get knocked down. And that the life can be unfair. The life can be very difficult. But it can also be unbelievable. It can be magnificent. And in this process, the underlying message is if you really believe in your own better way, you can create it. If you have faith in something bigger than your own personal wants and needs, and you understand that in serving, you offer the most value, the abundance that they talk about in our book, Jamar, by it.
Hey,
it's legit.
I'm gonna call you Divert Danny, because you diverted my question like 3 times, right? About the underlying message.
Rewind this back. I said it right after we dropped in power. So if y'all were paying attention, you'll know what it is. I said, boom, boom, boom. If you're not paying attention, I got you. That's it.
Hey, Coach D, speaking of empower, on real topic, real quick, because you said the word faith, right? During this process, and still to this day, you know, what's been some of the things that's empowered you to keep going forward, man? Like what the people, frequencies, vibrations, what your faith, like what has empowered you to keep going forward? And what would you say to someone, like I said, who wants to go out there and empower more people, man?
Okay. I try to walk on eggshells on this show. It's always unavoidable. We always come back to faith. We always come back to God. I've had friends that I don't want to say they didn't want to help with the show, but they're like, it's just not my vibe. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like for me to stay true to who I am, I got to be forthcoming. I can't just hide it. And I do my very best to not beat people with Bibles, but that's because I'm not that type of person anyway. But somebody gave me an analogy that stuck in my mind when I was young. And I was in a religion class at a Catholic school, and I raised my hand and I said, I need an analogy about the Holy Trinity, that there are these 3 different things. How can they be one thing? And she explained to me, she said, okay, imagine how, like if your spirit were fire, or, you know, the process of the burning the light, right? She said, and then she said, imagine taking 3 candles and you say, one's the Father, one's the Son, and one's the Holy Spirit. And she brought the 3 candles together and it burns as one flame. So to me, whether you're practicing Father, Son, Holy Spirit, mind, body, spirit, it's the alignment. It's about taking those elements of love and sacrifice and humility and all the things that align you in whatever it is that you're here to do. That's it. And that's faith. The idea that it's like, for whatever reason, if I'm out of alignment, it will make sense that things aren't going my way. But even if I am in alignment, I have faith in knowing that this something greater that I'm creating with this alignment, it might not make sense, but as long as I keep pushing, I'll radiate this positivity out into the world until it does.
Come on.
And I think Einstein was onto something when he couldn't prove his theory of relativity in absolute. He didn't account for the ether. The ether's all the other stuff. If you take a fish out of water, it suffocates and dies. If you take a human out of atmosphere, it suffocates and dies. So I think through all this soup, Jamar, we're these radiating energetic beings. And if you radiate negativity out into the soup, through this soup, other people can feel it. And the same thing is with positivity. And I'm literally experiencing it in my life right now. And as these layers start to fall off that are uncomfortable, they're even more uncomfortable because I've access that I don't want them. But as I move away from them, I feel more. So,
man, Coach D, today was all about honoring you. And this is what, as you were talking, I was writing. I was like, okay, if someone was listening today, what would be the points that they could actually take away? Invested community, I want to recap this message to you because this is what I got out of the message. There were 5 takeaways, 5 points that Coach D talked about today. Number 1 is we got to make a decision. No matter what it is, we got to make a decision. We got to decide on what we're going to do. Number 2, we got to take freaking action because we can talk about being about it all day long, but we got to actually be about it. And so action, once we make a decision, we got to take action. And then number 3, iron sharpens iron, right? You think about the people that were around Coach D during that time. And even you saw the amazing trailer with the tech team, beautiful Rebecca, and everyone in his life that were helping him in that process. So we got to be around the right people who are helping us stay sharp, who are helping us improve, who are helping us go towards what we are taking action on. And number 4, he said, the process is not always going to be enjoyable, but we still got to engage in the process. So we got to engage in the process. And we just hit on right now, the empower. I truly believe that everything we do, it has to come from a place where how can this empower someone else to do more, to be great, to take action, to make a decision, to engage in the process. So make a decision. Let's take action. Iron sharpens iron. Get around the right people. Engage in the process. And the process is not always going to be enjoyable. And always focus on how we can empower more people. So, Coach D, brother, that was my freaking takeaway from today. So, I love you, man.
Thank you, Jamar. Thank you, tech team. I love you guys. I like it.
Man.
Look, man, if you don't know, let go. And if you don't have faith in a higher power, have faith in the idea that you're worth it and that you can make it and that there's more to this, even if you don't see it right now. So I've dedicated myself towards a better way because I truly believe in it. And as this VESTED community grows and as this show grows and as our purpose together here grows, I'm just extraordinarily grateful. And I will continue to put into this as much as I can because I believe in it. I believe in this better way. I'm creating this better with you, Jamar, with you, Rebecca, with you, VESTED community, and I will just keep pushing.
Wow. Man, I love you, bro. Thank you for being open and vulnerable today to talk about you, to highlight you, because what you're doing and what you have done is actually changing lives and other people's lives. Because
bro,
it's
teamwork makes the dream work.
Changing, enhancing my life, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now. I think about you more than you even know.
All right, well, do them a favor. Tell them some things, and then ask them the questions.
Hey, VESTED community. You know, we're real, we're raw. This is organic. We're here to shine light. But being vested is not about Coach D. It's not about Jamar. It's not about tech team. It's not about all of our future partners we're going to have. VESTED is about a mindset, a frequency, and a vibration, about us being vested in whatever it is we believe in. And that's what VESTED is about. And it doesn't matter what you want to do, whether you're up now or you're down or you're getting up, or you may be drifting right now. You may be trying to figure things out. You might be on your 3-year journey right now of putting things together. But it doesn't matter what it is. We have to be vested. We have to be all in. We have to be committed. Otherwise, what are we doing? And if what we're doing is not built on the foundation of helping another person, is it truly worth it? So here's the question, VESTED. No matter what you do, no matter what you are doing, are you vested?